Morning, everyone. Welcome to the Asset Store Talk. Hope you all slept well and recovered from last night's party. I have a feeling that a lot of you are probably very stressed out because game design is a very intense and angry industry. You know, there's guns, there's tanks, there's all kinds of tension. So I thought we'd begin today with kind of a yogic kind of beginning. You know, kind of a stretch and a way to greet the morning with a haiku. Yeah. Okay. Seriously, guys, the Unity Asset Store, it's super awesome. That's actually 575. Okay. So what is the Asset Store? The Unity Asset Store is a repository of content that you can use for game design. It is full of 3D models, textures, sound, music, really anything that you're going to need to create a game. These are resources that you otherwise might normally hire people to create or struggle to otherwise find. We have nearly 1,900, actually that's probably closer to 2,000 today, packages on the store, and just over 40,000 registered users. So these are Unity users who signed on to the store, have accounts, credit cards, everything. You browse and access the Asset Store directly inside Unity. So while you're creating your game, you might think, okay, I need a certain asset. I'm building a city street. I need streetlights. You can find those right there inside Unity, and you can purchase them and have them in your game like immediately and start using them. One of the great things about the Asset Store is that everything has been cleared. So we go out of our way to assure that the licenses are royalty-free and that you do not need to have any kind of legal department to use this content. There's a few exceptions, and those are marked, but for 99% of the assets on the store, there's just no legal worries. Everything on there is very affordable, and it's guaranteed to work in Unity because everything that comes in, we test it. We make sure that there aren't null reference exceptions if it's code-based. If it's art assets, we make sure it's good quality, that people know what they're doing. And it's all guaranteed to look good. So we have an enormous selection. We've got editor extensions, which will go and add extra functionality to Unity. Because Unity is extremely extensible, we expose a lot of the editor classes so that you can go and create things in Unity that have the same kind of level of integration as our own tool set. We have a lot of 3D models. We have textures and dynamic substances like algorithmic substances. Complete projects, which you can download or purchase and modify and turn into your own game. Tutorials. Particle systems, script collections, and music and sound, which are kind of a new addition to the Asset Store. Let's see. So why do we need the Asset Store? It is because good help is expensive. I'm sure all of you have worked on a game design team. You know that you need artists, you need sound designers, you need modelers, you need coders. You need all of these people working together because game design is this kind of uber art form where artists, creative people, technical people all come together and use their skills in one place. So this can be prohibitive. You either need to be a Renaissance man or person of Renaissance and know how to do all these things yourself. You need to know how to model, you need to know how to do textures, you need to know how to animate, you need to know how to code, And while there's people in this very room who do this, and I know there's people at Unity, or Unity users who are Renaissance people, it's hard. And if you're making a game and you have a budget, you don't have a lot of time, it's not very practical to do everything yourself. Or you have to be part of a larger team with a big budget. And that has problems. It's not really conducive to creativity. And usually you wind up working, well, not usually, but sometimes you wind up working for someone like this. This is actually a quote from a CEO of a large company, a large game company, which will go unnamed, who said his goal was to take the fun out of making games. You know, and I think by this he meant that it's strictly business, you know, and the game designers are there, you know, just as a means to produce business. But we're here to have fun. Game design is about fun. Games are fun. Making games is cool and fun, and I know that that's why a lot of you here are here at Unite. I know that's why a lot of you use Unity, because it's just the funnest thing to do, you know. So the Asset Store is here to help you have fun in making your games and giving your users a fun experience by broadening the possibilities. So yeah, let me relate an experience of my own. Before starting at Unity, I was creating a game called Sleepy Sushi Service, and this was in 2005. I had a grant from the German government. I was living there for a while, and I had about $10,000, which seemed like a lot to me then. But as you know, game budgets run hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars. And I had hired some artists here and there that I found at an art school. I found, you know, I was reading every book on the game design business. I was finding forms for legal work, for having my artists sign over the rights to the content that I was buying so I didn't get caught. So I didn't get in trouble. I was talking to composers, and I was doing a lot of coding and texturing and modeling myself. And I was just going crazy. It was just a bit too much. It was a lot too much for one person on a small budget to do this. Eventually, I found this kick-ass job at Unity, which is my favorite piece of software. And I just said, okay, I'm going to come work with these guys because they're just amazing. But my point is that I wasn't able to finish the game because I didn't have sufficient resources at hand. I might have bit off a bit much, you know, a bit more than I can chew. But so now I am the content manager at the Asset Store, and my job is to bring in content to the store. And every day, basically, I see this influx of content that we get. And every day I just think, my God, if I had had this when I was making my game, you know, I would have saved so much money. Like, I was paying people, you know, $50 an hour to create models. And some of these models were the stupidest things, like a lamp, a sofa, you know, really basic stuff. And I think my budget for this was actually like high enough that I could have bought a real lamp and a real sofa and these things. Because, you know, a good artist is anywhere from $50 to $100 an hour. And even something as simple as a sofa, if it's got normal maps, diffuse maps, you know, it adds up. That could be at least 3 hours. So this is a fantastic way to do it. I mean, I could find these models that I needed for $20, you know, in some cases for free, and saved a lot of money. So let's talk about what's on here. I'm mostly just going to focus on models because I'm an artist and I get excited about them. I have a lot here, so hopefully I won't be too much like your uncle who shows, you know, pictures from the Grand Canyon on a slideshow or something. So we've got characters, creatures, we've got interior and exterior environments. So this can mean like buildings, complete science fiction settings, the interiors of a spacecraft. We've got weapons. We've got more weapons than North Korea, probably. Missiles, guns, knives, everything to kill people and monsters. Vehicles of all shapes and sizes. Tanks, cars, cartoon go-karts. spacecraft, motorcycles, you name it. Lots of lots of other little things like lamps. And modular kits, which you can use to put together like Lego, to create something much larger. So, let's see here. These are just some of my favorites. We have this company called 4Black Colors that specializes in creating organic shapes. They create trees, mushrooms here. I don't know, there's a lot of like really artful things here from them. The company DexSoft is one of our most popular providers. Even simple things like rocks really have a lot of power. And I've been tinkering with these things. You can use them to create a desert scene. You can use them to create a moonscape. They have this fantastic cave construction kit. This is taken in real time from one of their examples. And this is a good example of a modular kit where you can just take the pieces, attach them together, and create really a whole variety of scenes. You can see here there's all these different intersecting pieces and curves. Oops. Pieces like this with mushrooms. And using lighting and just your set design skills, your world building skills, you can create a limitless world. We have trees. Trees are something that I think are very important and very difficult to do right. Even good artists, who are great with characters and vehicles, have a hard time with trees. So we've had some people here who do them, people from AAA studios who submit their content, and it's here for you to use. This is from Nature Pack, which is one of the top selling items in the store. It has rocks, plants, trees, bushes, terrain textures. And there's all kinds of other little things like this pipe pack here from Will Bullen, where if you're making a scene in a warehouse or a spacecraft, you need lots of pipes. The world is in high fidelity. In a lot of older computer games, everything has crisp 90-degree angles. Everything's clean, there's no grit in the corner. But the reality of the world is that there's cables, there's pipes, look at this. There's this stuff everywhere. It's all around us. And it's so easy to forget it's there. And you might not notice it, directly. But when it's not there in a game world, you'll notice, kind of on a subliminal level, that it's not there. Something will just feel too clean. So these things, this is I think this is a $5 package. And everything here is in pieces. It has valves and everything. Very practical. We have an assortment of buildings. A lot of them have both exterior and interior scenes. Things to put in those buildings. You're making a flight simulator. Why pay someone to create your aircraft when we have, for example, this airplane pack from Viz Games? This has, I think, about 20 different airplanes. And some people will say, well, I don't want my game to look like everyone else's game. If I use these assets, then what's going to separate this from another helicopter or another airplane? And they're easily customizable. You can go in, change the textures, change the shaders, deform the models if you want, build on them and extend on them to create custom looks. In a lot of cases, if you need a jet airplane, you need a jet airplane. And why bother trying to recreate one? Why recreate the wheel? We have some awesome planes. Aircraft carriers. This is a kit here that contains everything you need for your own air and sea battle over the Pacific. Weapons, really artfully made weapons. I don't know why, but some people, I call it gun porn, We have a lot of gun porn. A lot of, this is like a $5 truck. There's a lot of kits too that are very highly stylized, where there's, a cartoon feel. This kind of reminds me of something like from Zelda Wind Waker. And this is one I really like. This is Frog Games Proto Pack. It's basically a package of simple, small assets that you can use to prototype your game. So you don't have to use programmer art. When you use the Proto Pack, it's obvious that this is a prototype. It's obvious that you're doing this to test your code. But you don't have to use a capsule for your character. In a similar vein, we have character kits that have multi-pieces. Like all these characters you see here are built entirely out of individual pieces. And these are rigged and skinned to skeletons. You can just snap them in together. I like this one. This is a wooden platform kit. I mean, it looks kind of simple at first glance, but I think you all know that putting things together like this can create a huge world. You could see this in a Nintendo-style platformer. There's a lot of applications. We also have things that are useful for architectural walkthroughs. We have furniture, interiors, lamps, plants. So it's not just for games, If you want to really make your architectural walkthrough look good, you can give it that level of fidelity that it needs. And we have characters. And I love characters. I'm a character animator originally. So I'm going to show you a whole ton of characters. Retrobot here. We've got some fantastic animals that are just really well crafted. I've seen ravens in lots of games. And these guys are perfect. They're well animated. Every character and creature you see in the asset store is rigged and textured and animated. We won't take anything if it's just a static mesh. So you can actually just start using them. You could throw this crow in your scene and in a few minutes have it flying around, landing on things, looking for boating. And we have a lot of weird stuff. I just want to take like an urban scene and try to recreate Tokyo and let these guys go at it. Colorful, playful stuff. These characters could be easily repurposed into a whole variety of things. You can see here that using the same mesh with multiple textures, you can create countless variations. We have a cute little pig. I love this pig. This is a very popular one, our Goblin Horde Pack, because everyone needs goblins. Yeah. And you've got a bit of every goblin personality in there. And then more from Dexsoft. Dexsoft has the most wonderful buildings. I'm really fond of this medieval slum scene. If you'll notice, they come with a lot of little details, like these clothes hanging on the line there, pile of hay, broken wheels, things like that. And a lot of this can be used in other contexts, too. You could take these and put them in other scenes. The ever-popular marketplace booth, bridges. I really like this bridge. Isn't that beautiful? And we also have sound effects galore. We've got music from Hollywood-grade production music houses. If you've ever done music licensing for a game, you know how complicated that can be. I mean, sometimes you'll go and you'll try to do like what I did, which is hire a composer, but you never really know what you're going to get. You could wind up with something that's useless or just doesn't have the feel that you want. A lot of game production houses use these music licensing companies that have, millions of hours of music, and you'll hear it in games and movies everywhere. And so we're bringing companies like APM, which is a very popular music house, one of the biggest. We're bringing their music into the store. Actually, just last night we brought in 40 tracks from there, and we're continuing to bring them in. And so this just saves a lot of work. Like if you need a little corny ragtime music for your Western, or like a shredding heavy metal theme for your big fight or whatever, it's in there. We also have editor extensions, which are incredibly popular. I touched on this earlier, and people are adding features to Unity. We offer a lot in Unity, but there's always people who want something extra. They want Unity to do X, Y, or Z. And editor extensions is the way to do it. We actually have people who are creating things and beating us to market with features, with new features. Some examples are like Megafires, which is a procedural mesh deformation system. You know, you can pop a Megafire onto any mesh that you have and turn your cube from being just a boring old cube to a squished cube, just like in, in Max if you're using modifiers, or in Maya, deformations. And these can be scripted and keyframed right inside Unity. We have a number now of visual script editing tools. So like node-based visual scripting tools like Kismet, very similar. You know, a lot of people are used to these tools. You can use these without really writing a line of code. You don't need to know C# or JavaScript or .NET. And not only that, we actually have 3 of them. We have UScript, Playmaker, and Antares Universe. These are all really competing against one another. And you can see here people are rating the packages. You can go through and read and see what each one has to offer. And I'd like to bring Keely up to stage now. Keely is the original architect of the Asset Store and behind a lot of its philosophy. And yeah, Keely, take it away.
Hey. So the idea behind the Asset Store is comes from that developers working with Unity, we noticed that they really want to share. And we had, from the beginning, we had the forum, people asking questions on the forum, and then we found out that forum wasn't maybe optimal for looking for answers already answered, questions already answered. So we added Unity Answers. And people also, there are official, semi-official internet relay chat channels, people helping each other. And then very early on, somebody created a wiki where people could share code, tricks. And but there was something, for sharing stuff, it wasn't optimal. So we thought about doing some way to make it easier to share content, code, and assets. And this is something people are already doing. We just wanted to make it more easier to find, easier to search through. So we thought about the asset share. That was the original idea behind the Asset Store. But it wasn't the asset share, it became the Asset Store. And the reason behind that is that we want to have some incentive. We want people to, we want high quality, so it's okay to make money on your work. So yeah, I think 30 to 40% of the content on the Asset Store is actually free. But for, having content, having commercial content on as well, actually encourage people to polish it off, make it better supported, offer actual support to their customers. We're only the like the store selling it. The publisher themselves support it, and then yeah, that motivates people also to keep improving their products and working on them. And it's also an excellent way for game developers to make additional, create an additional income from. I mean, if you have created some editor tool for your own game, it might be useful for someone else. So if you can quickly polish it off, release it on the Asset Store, you have like an instant extra income in addition to what you would else be making on games. And we just thought it was a really cool business idea. So that's why it's a store and not just a share. Oh, I'm done. So, talking about the editor extensibility, that actually goes a bit further. We don't only have extensions extending the editor. We also have an editor extension in the Asset Store that actually extends the Asset Store, and that's pretty cool. Mixamo has a technology to retarget animations to character meshes. And we have Alison from Mixamo here. was going to talk a bit about the Mixamo store, which is an extension to the asset store. All right.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about Mixamo's experience integrating with the asset store. We were actually, we had the wonderful opportunity of coming on to the asset store early on in the game. It was announced last year, and I think we integrated around January of last year. We saw a great opportunity to make animation more fun. Animation can sometimes be a big pain. And we've got a great technology that allows you to actually automatically apply animation to your character real time. So it reduces the need for a huge animation team. You can have a small set of highly skilled animators to actually take the Mixamo animation and stylize it and make it exactly what you want. So integrating into the asset store was an amazing process. Keely and Caitlin were absolutely fundamental in helping us do this. And it's been a great experience for us in terms of integrating ourselves into the community and helping you guys out build your games. So we started out with static assets in the store, so we actually have animation in the store and models. And then we built this plugin, which Keely just talked about, which actually automatically applies animation to your character in your game scene. So you can preview the animation while you're developing. And yeah. So I think I'm going to just run you through a quick demo of what that would look like. Our community manager, Oliver, actually built this incredible scene using primarily assets from the asset store. So about 75% of the assets you're about to see in this scene were from the asset store. And then we actually had a character contest recently, and the mutant character that we'll show you was actually from that contest. So this is the actual scene. This is our mutant character here. So you see trucks, you see garbage, you see streetlights, and then Oliver put together this cool flaming car, which is actually a conjunction of 2 packs that we took out of the asset store. There's awesome flame going on here, and our mutant reacts with the flame. So we'll just open up the asset store real quick and show you these 2 packs that we put together. One of them is the flame pack, Ian's fire pack. So I'll just show you what that looks like real quick. So this is the fire pack. This is our favorite fire pack to use. I don't know if you guys have used this before. Fire is pretty hard to do, and it's really easy to spend a lot of time trying to make a good flame. And then the other pack that we did was actually the damaged car. So we took this damaged car and integrated the flame into it to create this really cool, destruction scene that really lights up the demo here, illuminating our character. The animations on the mutant are actually from Mixamo. So you'll see we've got this walking animation, and he's got this kind of strut. We've got these turn animations. We've got he'll actually do an attack here in a second. So he's got this attack thing, and he's got this taunt, and then he'll actually die. So we've got a soldier in the scene that attacks him. So just show you really quickly how this can be done really easily. So if we go into the asset store and actually search for Mixamo, as I said, Mixamo's got a bunch of animation already dropped into the asset store, so you can just grab animation if you know how to put it on your character. And we've got characters as well. We've got dogs, horses, cats, all that sort of stuff. And then we'll actually have this animation store, and it's a plugin. It's free to download. You can just download it directly into your scene. You can drop it into any project that you want. And once you've downloaded it, you can actually go into the window. We'll stop the scene. Go into the window and open the Mixamo store. And now you've got this store, and you can actually just drag your character from your project into the plugin. And what that does is it gives us the skeleton to be able to apply animation. So say I'm not really happy with the walk that I put on the character. I can go search for a crouched walk. Maybe I want him to be a little more hunched over or something. I go find the animation that I want. We give you some director level controls over here in the plugin so you can actually customize it real time. Then I hit preview and I pull my character back in. We'll actually drop the character into the scene and preview the animation right there. So you'll see it's my scene. I'm not running the game or anything, I'm just previewing it. It's a pretty cool animation, right? Now he's kind of walking sideways, a little more stylized than just the walking forward. It's really important to, if you're using this with a character controller, to make sure you take off the in-place mode. We could go on for a while about that, but anyway. So say I'm happy with this animation now, I've previewed it again. You can preview it as many times as you want before you buy it, just to make sure it's exactly what you want. And at that point, once I'm happy with it, I would actually buy it. So there's a little buy button there. And I won't take you through the process of buying it because that would take a while. But what I did was actually dropped the animation already into the project. So we've got this crouched walk for the mutant. And then what Mixamo did was actually, we have a character controller that we actually provide for free in the asset store, and we're updating that soon. So this is our new character controller. We'll update it, I think Monday we'll update it. So I can just drop my new animation into the character controller and then update. We've got a script that goes with it, and we just have to update the naming convention on the animation. And what that does is it plugs it into this playable controller so that I can actually control the character with the keyboard without having to do any programming. So once the naming is fixed, so you just have to make sure that the title of the animation in the script matches the title of the animation in your project. And that's it. Somebody like me, not a game programmer, I can handle this. So once that's done, then I can restart the game again. Sorry. I can restart the game again, and you'll notice that once I start walking the character, he's now got this sideways walk. And there's no editing to this. That's exactly how easy it is. Making animation fun again, making this part of the asset store has been an incredible experience for us. And it's really been a great vehicle for, just awareness for Mixamo. And like I said, Keely and Caitlin have been really awesome in helping us get the word out there about our animation service and making sure that you guys are having fun making your games and not worrying about all the little details. So I think that's it. Also I wanted to mention we had an incredible experience where we were actually contacted by, I don't know if you guys have heard of Rain1. They make a really awesome AI system in the asset store. And they contacted us for support because they had actually started integrating our character controller into their AI system. So this is an amazing partnership that kind of happened that we actually met just through the asset store. The fact that they were using our tools for their tool. And now we have this integrated character controller and AI system, which will also be launching into the asset store next week. So you guys can also meet together, work together, put your assets together, put your heads together to come up with these incredible systems. And yeah, it's pretty great. So I think that's all I have. If you guys have any questions while I'm up here, yeah.
What are the legal implications of buying stuff from the asset store?
As Caitlin mentioned, most of it is, you don't have to worry about the legal stuff. Mixamo is completely royalty free, so once you buy the animation, it's yours. You just can't resell it. That's our only terms of service.
Like everything, you can't resell it as a standalone asset. So you can, you can sell your game with
Right.
that content. So
But do you go through a lot of process before you accept anything to the asset store?
We'll take general asset store questions after this.
Okay.
But yeah, for Mixamo specifically, we don't have any royalties on our animation. Yeah.
What support did the Unity give you and the asset store team with selling your assets or helping you with that?
Whenever we submit assets, Caitlin provides us a lot of guidance with our actual animations, making sure that they're perfect for the asset store. And then we had a couple questions for our integration with the plugin that we were able to contact Keely with, and he was great in supporting us with that integration.
If I have a specific character,
Yeah.
like a specific design of 3D character, how can I know which animation would be right for my character in the asset store? What maximum animation would be okay?
Yeah, the great thing about the plugin is that you can just search. So, if you don't know exactly what you're looking for, but maybe you want a walk animation, you can just search for walk and preview all of the animations that we provide back to you in the search results for free. So you can just try them all out and see which one works for you.
But it will fit, doesn't matter of the shape of my,
Doesn't matter.
it will fit it.
It will fit. Yeah.
I'll try.
Yeah.
I'm curious, since you've written your own plugin for the asset store, how has that impacted kind of the way you do business on the asset store?
In terms of what?
Like, do you guys engineer your animations with your plugin in mind, or still with just the standard asset store interface in mind?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
Let me rephrase it.
Sure.
Do you plan to sell most of your animations through the plugin you've written,
Uh-huh.
or just through the basic interface of the asset store?
So we do both. It's personally it's easier for us to actually integrate it through the plugin because it's all hosted in one place and we don't have to make all the packages. But we also like to provide the packages because they look good. They help the asset store team out and they help you guys out. Just having more content in the store. But we're still providing the content either way. So.
Once I buy an animation, can I use it in my next game, or is it just for that game?
Yeah, once you own it, it's yours. Anybody else? Okay, well, thank you guys so much for letting me be here, and yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hi, good morning. I'm Mike Herkarden from M2H Game Studio. This slide's out of date since I've been making this presentation just yesterday. So I'm no longer a multimedia student anymore, and now I'm really full-time game developer. We've been doing game development for quite a while now. We've found out Unity in 2008, or let me see, it's the next slide, yeah. So I started with amateur web design, moved to browser-based games. In 2008, I found Unity. And now it's all full-time Unity work. This talk is about us as a indie game developer using Unity and using the asset store on the side for 3 purposes, really. So I'll quickly introduce M2H, what kind of project we do, so you know how to relate to us and how you could possibly do the same kind of stuff with asset store. So we basically do iPhone games, iPad games, even Android, some web games, standalone games. We basically tried every deployment platform that's available to us to know what's worth it for us. And so now we try to focus on the stuff that works and what does not. M2H is me and my brother Matt, sitting in the audience over there. Our main philosophy, what we love to do is co-op multiplayer games. So that's what you'll see in all of our games and assets. But besides that, this jump is very hard to make actually. We've been making these games since 2008. Back then there was no way to deploy our web games to any of the game portals. Even Shockwave didn't accept Unity back then, I believe. So we made the Unity game portal Wookly. It's been relaunching last week. And Wookly is one of the businesses that we've been integrating in the Unity Asset Store also last week. So we'll get back to this in a bit. By the way, this presentation is, I once promised someone to never use PowerPoint again, so I'm not forced to Unity presentations only. So our asset store activity, we've been making some free assets like the M2H calling system, C# game examples. We've been selling some stuff. These are all our current assets, up to date till yesterday. So what we use the asset store for, we have some free assets, mainly to teach people, to share our knowledge, and this really pays off actually. I mean, it builds up a reputation, you meet some new people, it even pays off in new contract work and whatnot. Besides that, we sell assets. We've been making quite a lot of extra additional money to fund our games. It's really contributing to our monthly income. And our last purpose of the store is integrating our business inside Unity, just like Mixamo does actually. So integrating the business. With Wookly, we're trying to relaunch Wookly, trying to push it hard right now. So last week we finished this new plugin for inside Unity. So basically you can now download the Wookly plugin from the asset store, fill in the form, what you see right there, the title, description, 2 screenshots, and you press publish at the very bottom and your game is online in Wookly after we review it, usually in a few hours, maximum 1 or 2 days. So our business has moved from our website, our external website, to the Unity editor. And I think that it really makes a huge difference for our Unity game developers. I think we'll find a lot more games this way. So, and about our sales, well, we're not millionaires yet, but I've seen quite a few people here that probably made $100,000, I guess. Especially with the latest figures I saw at the keynote, last month was $130,000. Well, we're not quite there yet, I mean. But here are our raw results. I gathered these yesterday. So far, the sales have been quite steady actually. It's really a long tail. So almost $20,000 our share. And the free downloads, 7,000 right now. And that's still, the free downloads are growing still. I mean, from 600 to almost 1,000 right now. So that's been surprising me very much. Oh, sorry for the picture. So our most interesting findings is that using the Unity Asset Store, you can, well, for example, we needed a localization manager for our future games. We've got some quite big plans for like MMOs and whatnot, the usual developer dream. So we need localization, patcher, etc. So we've been making these tools, and on the side we can now sell them on the Asset Store, share the knowledge, get some additional revenue. So Asset Store brings us new opportunities for new revenue, meet new people, and whatnot. And the second finding, well, the Asset Store is really working nicely for us. I mean, when it launched in February, I guess, January, February, I was thinking it would be quite buggy or it needed some time to start up, but it's been working nicely ever since. It's really polished. It's a great tool set right now. And what I said earlier, it's really got a long tail. I would have been expecting for the free assets to disappear in the massive amount of content, but it's really growing. Even the sales, even the paid assets are still, well, they have a long tail. They're declining in sales, but it's not dramatically. So this is my contact details if you want some more details about this. Does anyone have any questions? If not, then Caitlin can take over Kelly for some Asset Store specific questions.
Hello. So thank you, Mike and Allison, for your awesome presentations. Mike here is just awesome. He's like a giving tree. He has been a teacher to this community on the forums, you know, on Unity Answers. He's just been there teaching and helping people and also leveraging this to make some money. And I think he really embodies the sharing spirit that we kind of adapted into the Asset Store. So do you guys have any questions? Yes?
Do you share the rest of those who buy the tools with vendors?
I'm sorry, can you please explain?
Yeah, if a tool is sold 10 times, do you give us the names of the people who
Oh.
No, we don't. But we provide ways of for publishers to verify invoice numbers. So if somebody comes to you and say, I bought this tool, I want some help, you can ask them, okay, what was the invoice number? And then you can check it, that if it's true. We will add some ways to be able to contact people who wish to be contacted, but we try to protect the users from the publishers.
Well, protect isn't the right word. That's not the right word at all. We do provide it, we do ask that you can invite your customers to contact you, providing your contact information, both so that you can support them and also, just hear how they feel, deal with their feedback. But by default, we do not, dump all this information on you. So yeah.
What's the statistics on the profile of your customers using the asset store? Is it and the more indie developers? Is it big developer organizations that have 60 developers? Is it a mix? Is it artists? I mean, do you have that statistics or?
No, we don't have that statistic in that detail, but it is a fair mix of indie developers, and we also have larger studios also looking at the asset store and using it.
Big ones. Yeah. There's like schools that are using it, to teach game design to high school kids. There's bedroom game designers. There's small shops, and there's a lot of the really big studios that we can't name, but yeah. A lot of these companies are using, especially like for prototyping, like the larger guys, for so.
Yes.
Do you have a service like analytics for the publishers to see how their assets are doing on the asset store?
Yes, we have a website you can log in once you are a registered publisher on the asset store, and you get details on immediate statistics on every single download and purchase. So you can follow it, live, basically.
So sort of going along with that, is there sort of a listing of the most purchased items, or is there also sort of a listing of things that people might like to see that aren't actually on the asset store, wish list for?
We don't have wish list yet, but it's an interesting idea actually to have. But every single page on the asset store has top grossing, top paid, that's like by volume, and top downloads. And when you dig down through different categories, it narrows down to that category alone. So it's pretty detailed, actually.
And we have encouraged people to, we have a forum thread that I've started to try to get people to put in their wish list. So there's kind of a poll about the general things that people want, and then there's all kinds of interesting requests from people on there.
Yeah, okay.
What type of support mechanisms do you have for people, for developers who are selling their assets on the store, and to help them improve their own sales, help them market their tools better, help them really become successful on the asset store?
Currently it's basic. I mean, you have the statistics from the publisher website, the statistic website. Otherwise, if you want to get any feedback from your customers, currently there's an email link and a web page link on the publisher profile page in the asset store.
Also, when content comes in, we review every package that comes in, and to kind of have some quality control. And often, we'll look at things and say, you could probably do a lot better if you changed this, or if you added that. Sometimes this just goes to the presentation of the package, like the key images that the person uses to present it. Some programmers aren't the best graphic designers, and so we give some guidance on that. And if people have questions about it, we usually help. I think you were first.
Well, he's first.
I'm not sure. You're next.
For editor scripts or extensions, how does the licensing work for that? Is it per user, per team? What's kind of the default license?
The default license is per team. Yes.
Yeah.
Do you advise on the pricing?
Yes, we have. Actually, in the documentation for submitting content, we have a suggested list on price ranges you should look at for different categories of assets and extensions. We have something that's a medium size asset to large scale and different price ranges.
Yeah, and there's suggestions. We don't really enforce them, but if we see someone making what's probably a mistake, where someone's got something fantastic and they're really underselling their skills, we'll advise them.
And oh yeah, and we actually don't like people selling stuff for like $9.99. We like round numbers.
All right, we'll just go in the order that I saw the hands go up. In the back?
Caitlin and Johan down there.
Just send me chocolates, money. I'm kidding. Do not do that. Yeah.
Hi. I was wondering if you had any plans to add coupon codes or anything like that to either give people an asset for free or a discount.
It's on the roadmap.
Yeah.
I just don't know when it's going to get implemented. I mean, there's a lot of stuff on there. But,
really soon.
But it's clearly something that content providers on their store are pushing for it. Marketing is pushing for it, so it will be there at some point.
Yeah.
Which one was the next one?
Who was? Yeah. Right now, it's about, let's see, we've got some really high-end models, like super amazing AAA stuff, for about $350. But we don't have a maximum cap on anything. So if you've got something that you'd like to sell for a higher price, it is absolutely welcome. So yeah, there was maybe a handful that are over $250. Yeah, most of them are under $150. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, you mean native to a specific platform? Yeah. Yeah, we have those. I mean, we much prefer that things are actually, like .NET assemblies or something native to Unity, because it just sells better. But yeah, we have plugins like Qualcomm. Sorry?
What if those plugins would have specific licensing?
We really work hard at convincing everybody to use our standard license, because it makes it much easier for the developer to choose what he wants. But if there's anything specific, and we really have to talk about it before we do it, it is possible, and we show a little warning logo on the product page that it has a non-standard license.
Yeah. But we really discourage that, because is my mic on? Yeah. Okay. Because our philosophy is that the whole legal thing should be just brainless. You should not have to worry about it at all. Yeah. Anyone?
So you would rather have per seat licenses? He asked if we supported selling packages licensing per seat instead of per team. We have discussed it internally, but we haven't come to found a solution for that yet.
Yeah, the issue for that is enforcement, mostly. There's. Yeah, hopefully we'll have it. I'm all in favor of it, but Danish lawyers.
It's also, I mean, the per team license, it makes sense for game assets, and then we see that for extensions and editor code, it would make sense to license it per seat instead. But yes, so, but no, we don't have it yet, but it's something that we would like to have. Was there any?
Yeah?
Oh.
Sorry.
Okay, you first.
Does it also offer up services? Like they're interested in developing games.
Well, a good example of a service is Mixamo.
Yeah.
Providing services in the sense of like people, companies interested in
Oh,
games for hire.
Oh, yeah.